Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly, back on that daily grind. I just counted this morning and it looks like I missed a total of 6 days all year long. 6 days I didn't upload. Next year we gonna try and get that number down a little bit. I know it sounds crazy, but one of my goals is to have a year where every single day I upload a video. I know it's gonna be really hard thanks to this thing called life, but that's a goal of mine. Anyways, thank you for joining me back on this quest to 200K, hashtag a million a year. Y'all already know that you are the real MVPs. And if you haven't joined the quest or the journey to a million a year, you know, it ain't too late. There are still a few spots available. There's still a lot of time, but don't miss out. It's gonna be a crazy ride. Speaking of crazy though, this is the time of year where things start to get a little bit crazy in the NBA, especially on the trade front. The closer you get to the new year, the closer you get to the NBA trade deadline, the crazier things start to get. And it'll be even earlier this year since the trade deadline has been moved up a few weeks to before the All-Star break. And with things getting so crazy around this time, it's important to use good judgment when talking about these type of things, because we all know some sites will say anything to get those clicks. So most of the time when there's something linked to the Cavs or any other big team in the NBA, more likely than not it's going to be a reach or it's going to be clickbait. But then there are also times where it's like, yeah, some of these things that come out actually make sense and I can see them happening. And that's exactly what I told myself this morning. I wake up and I see a couple of players getting talked about in some trade rumors or news that the team is looking to trade them, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And I think they will get traded, if not by the trade deadline, then for sure around the time of the NBA draft. And those players are both Lakers, Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson. These aren't the biggest names, but they are names where I feel any team would love to have. If they get traded, it won't be like a huge astronomical deal, but it'll still be something. They will for sure make some noise for their new teams. First off, why am I so confident that these two guys will get traded? It's quite simple. The Lakers, we all know what their agenda is. In the upcoming offseason, they are looking to bring in some star level talent. Almost anyone who is worth a max contract will be getting a max contract offered to them by the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, we know some names that they're looking into signing.
You know what that means, right?
Magic has already said this, and he said if they miss out this summer, then it's no big deal. They will try again next year. And the Lakers do have cap space. That was one of the reasons they traded D'Angelo Russell, was to make cap space so they wouldn't have to ink D'Angelo Russell to a contract extension, and also so that they could package the contract of Timofey Mozgov with him. So they got money there, but as it still stands, the Lakers only have enough cap space to sign one max player headed into the offseason. They want a couple of max level players, which is where Jordan Clarkson and Julius Randle come in. Let me get this out of the way before some of you guys accuse me of blowing smoke. Reports have come out saying that the Lakers and the Mavs were in talks about a potential Julius Randle Nerlens Noel swap, as well as more reports coming out saying that they are confident that they will be able to trade Jordan Clarkson. I ain't making this stuff up. See, here's the thing. Those are the players that the Lakers can trade. I'm sure they would love to be able to trade Luol Deng. That man is getting paid way too much money to do absolutely nothing, but no team in their right mind is going to trade Luol Deng. Sure, the Lakers could try and package him with either Jordan Clarkson or Julius Randle. And while Jordan Clarkson and Julius Randle are really good young players, there's some nice young players, they ain't on the level of nice to be able to take on a contract like Luol Deng and screw yourself over financially in exchange for them. They're just not on that tier of young players. That's like Porzingis tier. Anyways, Clarkson is owed $25 million for the next 2 years, and Randle is about to be a restricted free agent, and I'm sure some team this summer is going to make him an offer probably close to $70 or $80 million. If LA wanted to keep him, that means they would have to match that offer. If not, he's going to walk for nothing. They don't want to pay him because then they couldn't bring in that second max player, so that's why they will be looking to trade him before it gets to that point, which is unfortunate. It's nothing nothing personal towards Julius Randle or Jordan Clarkson on LA's end. It's just those are the only movable pieces with significant enough contracts that they have. They're basically the collateral of the cost of doing business. And just thinking about it, this is probably the best thing for the careers of Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson as well, especially Julius Randle. I don't know if Jordan Clarkson on any team will ever be more than just a phenomenal six-man, but Julius Randle has potential to start for a bunch of NBA teams. It's just on the Lakers, he doesn't get significant playing time or consistent playing time because of guys like Kyle Kuzma. So those two guys are for sure going to be traded either by the trade deadline, or if not by then for sure by the NBA draft. Lakers lost to the Blazers yesterday, by the way. I guess I'll just throw this in here real quick since we're kind of on the topic of the Lakers and everything. 95-92. LA was without Ingram, but Portland was without Damian Lillard, so yeah, Shabazz Napier. Remember when LeBron was trying to hype him up before the draft a few years ago, and then the Heat drafted him hoping he would convince LeBron to stay, but then he went back to Cleveland anyways? That's all I ever think about when I hear the name Shabazz Napier. And that said, the career summary of Shabazz Napier so far has been the guy that Pat Riley used to try and bait LeBron but failed. Anyways, he scored 21 and dished out 5 assists in Dame's absence. If there's one thing I love to see in the NBA, it's veterans, already proven stars, acknowledging some of the work that some of these young rookies put into the game. If Russell Westbrook and Paul George take time out of their day after the game to come up to you and give you some solid words of advice as a rookie, that has to be one of the best feelings that could ever happen to you. Especially Russell Westbrook. This is the guy who says his only friend on the basketball court is the basketball itself. So for him to come up to Donovan Mitchell last night and offer him some words of encouragement after the game, it's something I've never really seen from someone like Russell Westbrook. But like I said, he did it for Donovan Mitchell last night. Yep, after the Thunder beat the Jazz 103-89 to get their 4th straight win behind Russell Westbrook triple-double of 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Those guys went over to D-Mitch and gave him probably some really great advice. What they actually said, no one knows, but it was really dope to see. Golden State only scoring 81 points, only making 3 threes. Maybe they're saving it all for the Cavs on Christmas or something, because I don't think we will ever see them have another offensive game like this. That's just hard to even imagine. 3 of 27 from deep, 11% for Golden State. That's crazy. And of course, the Nuggets got the win. Even the head coach of the Nuggets, Mike Malone, after the game was like, I can't remember the last time they shot that poorly from the field, but hey, we'll take it. I ain't gonna complain. 96-81 the final score. Gary Harris scored 19 and Jokic had 18 points and 9 rebounds for the Nuggets. After their 7-game winning streak was snapped by the Cavs, it seemed like the Cavs might have zapped some of that fighting spirit right out of the Bulls. I know once LeBron hit that turnaround fader dagger over the Bulls, he turned the bench and told them that their winning streak doesn't matter, so maybe that really destroyed the confidence of this young team, because they for sure didn't play with a lot of it last night. The Celtics won 117-92. Jaylen Brown returned for Boston last night to score 20, while Kyrie Irving had 25 points and 7 assists. Indiana wasn't looking so hot in the first half. The Nets led them by 16 headed into the break, and I don't talk about them a lot, but I gotta give credit to some of the guys on the Nets. Karis LeVert, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, and Spencer Dinwiddie. Those guys play hard, and the Nets aren't that bad because of them. Like I said, they were doing work on the Pacers in the first half of the game, but in the second half, that's when Oladipo and the Pacers got going, forcing the game into overtime and ultimately coming away with the 123-119 win. Dinwiddie even tied his career high in scoring with 26 points and 8 assists, but Victor Oladipo is just too freaking good. 38 points for him last night, looked like he was about to set a new career high, while Miles Turner had 23 points and 6 blocks to help the cause. Joel Embiid returned for the Philadelphia 76ers, but that didn't matter at all, as the Sixers really continue to struggle. Hopefully they snap out of this little slump soon, because in the East this year, you can't afford to fall too far behind. They're 14-18 on the year right now. The Raptors, though, didn't give the young team from Philly much of a chance as they continue to play nearly perfect basketball. Yeah, you heard that right. Toronto has been dogging teams out here. I still want to see how they play in the playoffs this year. If they will play well in the postseason, that's what will impress me the most, but from what I can see right now, this isn't the same team mentally that the Raptors have had the past few years, and DeRozan right now is playing extremely well. He has a 3-point shot now, it seems. After his last game, where he was like, what, 6 of 9 from 3, he was 4 of 7 from distance yesterday for 29 points and 102 86 was the final score. Spurs beat the Kings. No real surprise here. 108-99. San Antonio still being really cautious with Kawhi, so they set him out to rest, which means LaMarcus Aldridge was going to get his buckets, and he did. 29 for the big man, while Paul Gasol has apparently finally found the fountain of youth in San Antonio. He had a triple-double last night with 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Minnesota did what they were supposed to do last night, win. They won, all right? And this is one of those games where that's all you can tell yourself afterwards. We won because it wasn't pretty. This was one of those games where you're playing against a team that isn't the best and that you are, like I said, supposed to beat. And in the first half, everything is going so well. It looks like you're on your way to putting this game far behind you. And then all of a sudden in the second half, you come out playing as if the Monsters had stolen all of your talent. But it doesn't matter because you're playing against the Suns without Devin Booker. So, like I said, you win anyways. Jimmy Butler dropped 30 and 115-106 was the final score. After probably the most embarrassing defeat they suffered all year against the Nets in their previous game, the Wizards needed this. They needed to play against the Magic. Now my sympathies are with Nikola Vucevic. He broke his hand in the opening period yesterday, which sucks. It's gonna need surgery and is going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, but that being said, the Magic right now are the team in the NBA where every team looks forward to playing against. Not for any reason of a grudge match or like there's any significant meaning behind the game at all, but it's like a free pass. I'd relate playing the Magic right now to having a half day at school. Sure, you still have to wake up and go early to school, but you know that you're really not going to have to do anything. You go for a couple of hours, talk to your friends about your plans for the weekend, and before you know it, it's all over. Lou Williams and Austin Rivers are playing like the best backcourt duo in Clippers history right now. Whether that's a good thing or just flat out sad is up to your interpretation. But I gotta give them some credit. Look, someone has to score for LA right now, and they're doing a really good job at it. One day after scoring a career-high 36 points, Austin Rivers topped that the very next day with a new career high of 38 points. He's playing right now like the player the Clippers needed for the past 5 years, but unlike yesterday, when his heroic career efforts resulted in a win, it wasn't enough to beat the Memphis Grizzlies. How strange is that? A career night from Austin Rivers was able to beat the Rockets, but not the Grizzlies. 115-112 was the final score as Tyreke Evans continues to look like rookie year Tyreke Evans. He dropped 30 points and dished out 11 dimes. Maybe the key for the Heat is to play as few players as possible. They've been winning when they only had like 8 players available to them, but once they got a couple more guys back last night, they came out empty to the Pelicans, 109-94. Davis and Cousins didn't even have to do much. Only 17 for Davis and 16 for Cousins. This was the best the Pelicans bench has played maybe ever. They had 43 points off the bench. Part of me feels like this was a courtesy move from the Bucks. Like they realized that maybe they would have lost the day before had the Hornets had their 2 best players the full game. So in return, they set out Giannis this game against the Hornets. And good news for the Hornets, as neither of the injuries that Dwight Howard and Kemba Walker suffered the day before were as serious, as they both played last night in the Hornets' 111-106 win over the Bucks. Howard with 21 points and 16 rebounds, and Kemba Walker had 19 points and 8 assists. Dang, I had finished editing this video and I completely forgotten about this game. But I'm doing it now, I guess. Hawks won as Dennis Schroeder had a career high 33 points and 7 assists. That's all. That wraps up all the action from last night. You guys can vote for the player of the day by clicking this little card right here. Just remember though that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, you guys selected Russell Westbrook and his 30 points, 15 assists, and 7 rebounds as your player of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching though. Make sure to smack that like button as well as subscribe to the channel to be a part of the #MillyInAYear movement and to stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. But until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team STC, and I'm out of here.